This is Deng Forest, located between Goska and Gidanwaye communities, both in Jemal local government area of southern Kaduna. It's the area surrounding the farms of the residents, and they say they've not been able to go to the farms since the December 24, 2016 attacks, as they claim armed herdsmen have taken over their farms.
I'm appealing to the government to please help to assign police and the soldiers to go inside the forest and drive them out, because our lands, we don't have any strength to go. We don't have any means to go there as of now.
Responding to the fears of the people, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuko Baratai, promises a swift action.
We have our special forces who are well trained to go into any terrain and operate. So be rest assured we will do the right thing.
But overall, the people say they want sincere dialogue for peace.
So reconciliation, there must be honesty. There must be honesty, and we must do everything to see that we protect our promise. So that when I say, you know, I will not fight, I will not kill you, that I won't kill you, I won't injure you.
The governor, Nasir El-Rufai, promises to take the effort beyond just dialogue and to be objective.
We do not care what ethnic group or religion he is. Frankly, I do not even care if he's my son or daughter. If he participates in this crisis, he will face a judge. If the judge says he has done nothing wrong, so be it. But my duty, which I swore with the Quran, is to ensure that we enforce the law, and will do it at any cost, at any price.
The people of Southern Kaduna say they are holding the government to its promises.
Welcome back. Well, that's what we're focusing on this morning. And the governor joins us now himself, Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you, Chamberlain.
Well, we heard some parts of what you said there, but the benefits of hindsight, for those who may not know, who may just be caught up in all of what's going on, take us down memory lane a little bit. What exactly is the problem here?
Well, it's a bundle of problems. It's not just one problem. It has a long history. I like to say that depending on how you look at it, this situation in southern Kaduna either has a 37-year history or 400-year history. I would prefer to focus on the 37 years because I lived in Kaduna State, I grew up, and I witnessed the first crisis. The first time we had a crisis of ethno-religious nature was in 1980 in Kaswa, in which 11 people, I think 19 people were killed. Unfortunately, since then we've had 10 more. This is number 11. And on each and every one except this current one, we've had commissions of inquiry. What usually happens is a dispute begins between two people of two different ethnic groups or different religions. Anyone is good enough, any mix. And that dispute, instead of being resolved at community level or by law enforcement agents, become elevated to a group dispute. So Muslims kill Christians, Christians kill Muslims and destroy their property.
So that's indicative of something deep-seated.
Precisely. That's why I said, if you like, you can go back 400 years and talk about the Hausa, Habe, emirs and kings and their slave raids and so on. You can begin to go back to that narrative if you want to go back 400 years. But as far as I'm concerned, these communities have lived for 300, 400 years. Zangon Katab was established over 400 years ago by traders coming to Southwest to buy kola nuts. Okay? And these communities have coexisted for years. Kafanchan was established as a railway town. If you go to the center of Kafanchan, most of the residents are Igbos, Yorubas, Hausa that came on account of the railway. So this southern Kaduna has been a fairly diversified community for years, and they have lived in peace. But the breakdown started, as I said, in 1979 in Kaswa Magani, and it has happened since then. Now, I was trying to give you a prototype of a typical southern Kaduna dispute. It's typical southern Kaduna crisis. Dispute between two persons becomes unresolved or elevated to group dispute. People get killed, property destroyed, curfew is imposed, a commission of inquiry is set up immediately after normalcy returns, a white paper is issued by the government, it's put in the drawer, no one ever got prosecuted for any of these offenses. In our opinion, looking at all the crises that have happened, and I personally and members of my core team have read all the reports long before this happened. You know, there has been 10 such crises in 36 years in Kaduna State. So we knew that it happens every 3.6 years. On basis of probability, we knew that in our tenure, one was likely to happen.
So why did this one prove difficult?
No. This is not any more difficult. This is not any more difficult than the previous ones. The only difference is now is that there is social media, there is a lot more newspapers, more radio, TV, and every phone is a broadcast instrument. That's why it appears more serious. In fact, this one is one of the lesser ones because, look, in 1987 in Kafanchan, when there was a crisis over the emirship, thousands died. In 1992 in Zangon, thousands were slaughtered. In 2011, nearly 1,000 people were killed in southern Kaduna alone. So this one that we are talking of 100 or 200 people, unfortunate as it is, every human life matters.
You said 7,000 people displaced.
All kinds of numbers are being bandied around. I will come to that. But what I'm trying to put in context is that this current crisis, this snapshot, does not tell the story. It's a long movie, okay? The only thing is that today, because of proliferation of information platforms, there is a lot more awareness. But more people had been killed in the past, more property has been destroyed than this one. It's just that now the world has changed in many ways. So this cycle has been going over and over and over. And to understand the current crisis, you cannot take it as a one-shot event. You have to look at all that happened, because what is happening now is largely as a result of what happened and was unresolved in 2011.
What was unresolved?
Okay, in 2011, there was crisis after the announcement of the results of the presidential elections in many parts of the northern states. But the worst crisis took place in Kaduna State, okay? And the worst killings took place in southern Kaduna. By various estimates of the Lemu Commission, as well as the Commission of Inquiry we established, Kaduna State government established, estimates of those killed in Kaduna, in southern Kaduna alone, ranged from 690 to 1,000 people. In southern Kaduna alone, okay? And a Commission of Inquiry was established. People were indicted, named, with pictures. Every evidence necessary to prosecute was available. White paper was produced. It was never acted upon. Now, when we came in May 2015, the very first duty as governor of Kaduna State was to convene a meeting of Security Council on Saturday, because I was sworn in 10 o'clock on Friday, 29th May. By 5 p.m. I got a report of a small community in Sanga local government in southern Kaduna that was attacked and about 5 people killed. So I got worried. We convened a meeting, we called everyone, I said, look, what's going on?
Was that also part of what happened in 2011?
Yes, okay. So, but at that time, we didn't understand. We had just come in. We had not even begun to receive our briefings when this happened. It happened literally the day I was sworn in. So I called the Security Council with all the security agencies, traditional rulers, and said, what's going on? Why is this happening? And we got all kinds of opinions. But at the end of the day, one of the decisions we took was to establish a committee under the leadership of General Martin Luther Akwai to help us understand the problem. Because We, even as we were campaigning, we knew that security was the #1 issue we may have to address in Kaduna. And at that time, our understanding was there were 3 problems. There were the killings in southern Kaduna. There was cattle rustling and banditry in northern and central Kaduna. And there were urban gangs, you know, these young people that take drugs and just come and kill and attack anyone they see at random. They call them Sarasuka gangs. So we knew that we had to address these problems. But the cattle rustling, we understood it fairly quickly, because essentially it was a Fulani phenomenon. They steal cattle, they hide in the forest ranges around Kaduna, Zamfara, Sokoto, and so on.